1 million power. That's a lot of power. Or so you would think, right? Welcome to the video where I'm going to be showing 7 tips to skyrocket and boost your power in Cookie Run Kingdom. And let me get right on to it with number 1. And number 1 is power is not everything. Now, before I get into how to increase your power, I want to explain one thing quickly. It's that this big old number right here, while it's important, it's not everything. And let me explain why. So the power is mainly boosted by attack and cooldown. So attacking and cooldown cookies are going to have much higher power than healing cookies. Now, to give you an example quickly, golden cheese at 1.03 million, pure vanilla at 390,000. Does that mean golden cheese is nearly 3 times more useful than pure vanilla? No, not by any means. Pure vanilla is more useful than golden cheese actually, because there's other damage dealers aside from golden cheese, but there isn't people that can heal like pure vanilla. So before I go into the rest of this video, I just want to emphasize that power is not everything, guys. So let's get into how we're going to upgrade it. So going on with number 1, and that is going to be the basic one. The easy way to boost up power is by boosting up the level. Now, as you guys can see, boosting up a cookie to higher level from level 80 to 81 is an increase of 11,000. So the easiest way to do it is by increasing your cookies level through star jellies, which you can get from houses and other methods. Now, there is another method of increasing it. It's also by increasing the skill level. So let's go ahead and increase Moonlight Cookie up to 81. And now we can see her power is 1.038. If we increase it by 1 more, we're going to see it's at 1.046 now. So the basic idea for the first step behind boosting cookies is the level in the top in the skill level. That is directly what the power is based off of from the cookie's actual stats. So that's just literally a drop in the bucket of how to boost up your cookie's power, which leads us to tip number 2. And tip number 2 is going to be magic candies. So magic candies are a boost to any cookie that can get them, or crystal gems in the case of legendary cookies, where they change the cookie skill essentially to be much more better and make the cookie more relevant to the current meta. So now, as we can see here with Moonlight at level 20 magic crystal gem and 1.4046 power, if we go ahead and upgrade this once, remember she's at 1.046 right now. If we upgrade that once, now she's at 1.048. Not as much of a boost as leveling up the skill or the level itself, but boosting up magic candies is another way of boosting up your cookie's power. Now, each cookie will have different parts of their magic candy that you will need. For example, the crystal gems are the only ones that need these resonant ingredients. Let's go ahead and go to an epic cookie with a magic candy so we can compare to them. So normally the resonant ingredients you can get in the magic laboratory, the crafting production item that you can use just to make different kinds of resonant ingredients. And then you use epic soul essences as well as arcane crystals, swift crystals, might crystals. Depending on whatever kind of cookie it is, you're going to have different kind of crystals you got to use. But that's the number 2 method, the magic candy. Honestly, though, I will say the magic candy, even aside from upgrading the power side of things, magic candies are the most useful thing to upgrade. I mean, this is just like a tip 2A, an extra tip, unrelated to power. If you have the ability to upgrade a new magic candy, odds are you should. That's all. So coming in at tip number 3, and that is going to be the laboratory. Now, I've seen a lot of people underuse the laboratory, which always makes me sad because this is by far one of the most useful things in the game. So really, the kingdom side of things doesn't upgrade your cookie's power, but it does allow you to get some useful things like the easy goods collection, the production dashboard, advanced research, and more. But really, the cookie side of the laboratory is where you're going to want to go for all your work. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, attack and cooldown are the 2 stats that boost up power by the most level. As we can see here, the laboratory starts off with HP, goes until defense, which leads further into attack, and then it leads back to HP, defense, and attack one more time. And as you guys can see here, I've got attack bonus 1 completely maxed out, and I've got attack bonus 2 almost completely maxed out. So this just is really tying into the increasing your power the quickest. Attack is by far the most useful way of increasing your power in the laboratory. If you're going for soul attack power or just power in general, even if it's a healer, they will benefit from that increased attack. Trust me. So if you want to see that power go up, hit the attack bonus in the laboratory. So now that leads me to number 4, and that is actually going to be one of my favorite boosts, one of the ones that I think people get slept on the most, and that is going to be the landmarks. Oh boy. So the landmarks you get with gems in the kingdom decoration shop. And you might want to use the gems for upgrading your cookies or buying gacha pools, which is reasonable. But these things, look at that. Damage resist plus 15%, guys. Let's look at the next one. All cookies attack plus 10%. Let's look at this one. Coins from battles plus 6%. Okay, that doesn't have anything to do with the actual cookie stats, but look at that. All cookies HP plus 10%. Guys, 3 landmarks, and that's a plus 15% to damage resist, plus 10% to HP, and plus 10% to attack for 3 landmarks. That's a game changer. And I'm talking about when you're going against somebody who has the same ascension, same team build as you, these differences are what make that push. And on top of the landmarks, there's another one that can be easy to miss, but that can be a bit annoying to upgrade, and that is going to be the Statue of Heroic Radiance. So the Statue of Heroic Radiance can be found in the Hall of Ancient Heroes that you can access from the kingdom itself. And what the Statue of Heroic Radiance does is it allows you to upgrade this statue based off your cookies level sum and how many Astral Radiant shards you have and Aurora items. Now, every level upgrade is about a 0.1% to attack, 0.6 to defense, and 0.68 to HP. I don't know how they determined this math, but they did it. So, you know, it's not as big as the landmarks. As you guys can see, after nearly 80 levels, I'm not even at 10% attack. And whereas the landmark that you could buy early in the game right off bat with gems gives you that 10%, it's still very useful, guys. You know, this stacked on top of the landmark, stacked on top of the laboratory can really just make a big difference. And that's where an important thing to matter that I like to repeat in my videos is the small boosts matter, guys. There's not going to be like one method of, you know, getting boosts that make you better than everyone else. It's the small things. You know, it's the Statue of Heroic Radiance, the lab, the landmarks, and the next tip I'm going to show you with number 5. So number 5 is the guild buffs. The guild's one of my favorite things. If you know my videos, you know how much I stress being in an active guild. But guys, the guild buffs are easily one of the best things for 2 reasons. One, if you manage to join a guild, an active guild, you're going to get buffs for not doing anything. Like, I joined this guild and they had most of this already all set in stone. Guys, we got all cookies. This is just by the guild level. Cookies plus 10%. Cookies defense plus 15%, cookies HP plus 15%. And then we get into the other sides of this. Hall of History relic effects, cookies defense and attack increased in Cookie Alliance. Then we go even further, Hall of Nature, cookies HP increased, increased attack and defense in HP in Cookie Alliance, increased damage to bosses in Cookie Alliance. And then we go even further, guys. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. So this really just stays true with the tradition of that I've been mentioning of the small boosts matter. Guys, this goes further than just upgrading your cookies. As you can see here, house production speed, increase attack upon entering guild battle, increase crit damage upon entering guild battle, increase stamina jelly maximum and tree of wishes coins. Really, there is no end to the benefit of being in a guild. Guys, even if you are going to be in an inactive guild, which is much better than being in no guild, really, there's nothing, you don't lose anything. You know what I mean? Like, you're not giving up anything to get these boosts. You're just playing the game. So I definitely recommend joining a guild, and on top of that, stacking these little buffs. So the guild boost, the laboratory boost, the landmark boost, and the Heroic Radiant statue boost. All these things combined really can change how strong your cookies are. These things separately may buff your cookies by 7.5 to 10% on a stat, but then you get those 4 stacked on top of each other and compounded, and that's plus 50% attack. Massive. So guys, that leads me to tip number 6, and a short but very, very important tip. And that is going to be saving the soul stone chests for ascended only cookies. Now, you might be asking why? And especially if you're a newer player, you might think, well, if I have the ability to increase my cookies level, why would I wait on it? And that's a good question. And let me tell you why, and 2 reasons. 1, the normal soul stones are extremely easy to get. You can get them from the mileage shop. You can get them easier from the normal gachas. You can get them from the updated master mode, which has, I'm pretty sure, every cookie soul stone in the game for the most part. Point being is there's multiple ways to get the normal soul stones. The mileage point shop being the easiest one. You can literally buy soul stones with the pity from trying to get soul stones. It's a very nice friendly system, which leads me to number 2. You can't do that with the ascended souls. Once your cookie gets to the ascended range, there's no mileage shop for it. Now, there's going to be those master mode stages, but they are slow. And while it's still a useful method to be able to get ascended soul stones, there's one method that stands above all, and that is the soul stone choice chest method. Now, as you guys can see here, I can pick any cookie I want and pick them for their ascended choice. Now, really a good one would be either Black Sapphire or Candy Apple, but I won't choose something right now just so I can emphasize this, is that if you are going to be using these chests, use them for Ascended cookies. It is much more difficult to get Ascended souls, and it is very easy to get them from these Soulstone chests. So really, if you can manage that, definitely recommend it. So guys, number 7 is going to be the most important one and probably the most obvious. And that is going to be toppings and biscuits. So toppings and biscuits are the most important part for adjusting the power. Now, as you guys heard me mention earlier, cooldown and damage are the ones that increase it the most. As you guys can see here, with this full cooldown setup on Moonlight Cookie, she's getting around 918,000 power. But then with the Searing Raspberry full setup, that goes all the way up to 1.048 million. So we're just going to operate with that full Raspberry to get that 1.048 million power. Now guys, let's go ahead and jump in here and look at the different biscuits. So we're going to go ahead and let's put on this damage resist bypass one that increases attack by 30%. And we're at 1.382. Now, if we get rid of that one and add, let's say, one that boosts attack speed, we're at 1.285. So different boot substats in different parts of the toppings and biscuits can improve your power on different levels. But as I mentioned in step 1, power is not everything. See, this current one right here with all attack speed and damage resist bypass isn't as useful as this one with all damage resist bypass for the sake of the arena. But then when it comes to PvE, that increased attack speed would be more useful because most of the enemies in PvE don't have damage resist. So it really depends on two things. The objective of what you're trying to do. You know, if you're playing PvP and you need that damage resist bypass, go for it. And if you need it for something else like PvE, go for attack speed or something else that's more beneficial. But just because something is higher, giving you higher power, doesn't mean it's going to be better. And just because something is giving you lower power, the same is true. But what I really want to emphasize on this is the toppings and biscuit of choice. So as you guys saw me earlier, depending on what toppings you pick, depending on what biscuits you pick, and depending on what substats you can get, your power can vary wildly. So take that in mind when you're trying to build your cookie, and also keep in mind what your objective is. So guys, that was 7 tips on how to improve your cookie's power. A lot easier in Cookie Run Kingdom. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a comment below, any questions you might have or something else you want to say. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you guys want to watch some more Cookie Run videos, make sure to watch these.